start today's topic, that is states of matter part 1, and the topics we are taking together are first intermolecular forces, second thermal energy, and third the comparison of intermolecular forces and thermal interactions. So let's start with the chapter, that is states of matter, based on pure NCERT concepts of part 1. So let's see. So our first topic is intermolecular forces. So the forces may be of attractive type or repulsive type. Okay, this intermolecular forces doesn't include electrostatic forces, because electrostatic forces means the forces between the electrical charges which are at rest, because static motion is there, that is the electrons are not in motion, so they are static, that is in resting state. So next is attractive intermolecular forces are called the van der Waals forces. Okay, it has three types. The first is dispersion forces or London forces. The next is dipole forces, which includes a special case of hydrogen bonding. Okay, and the third is dipole induced dipole forces. So the first is dispersion forces. So these are always attractive type, that means they will always attract the molecules towards each other. This type of forces, they arises when electronic cloud is not completely symmetrical. Now what it means कि electronic cloud symmetrical नहीं है. So let's see the further. For example, we have an atom A and an atom B. Okay, now they have a positive charge in their center as their nucleus. Okay, so let's review now. In the next figure we can see that here, suppose the positive charge is displaced on any one side of the atom A. Suppose it moves towards LHS, that's left hand side. So due to this positive charges, an equal and opposite type of charges will induce on other side, that is it will induce the negative charges on the right hand side. So we can see that more electron density is on RHS, that is right hand side. Now due to this negative charge, next atom in surrounding will get induced by this negative charge, so it will reveal a positive charge in its surrounding. Okay, and similarly, as a positive charge is giving a negative, positive charge is again giving a negative here. So due to atom A, here atom B is inducing a dipole. So a dipole is induced dipole is there in atom B due to atom A. Okay, and nextly we can say these charges will interact each other, they will change the position of each other, like more density is on now left hand side, you can see. So this goes to that side and this goes to this side. Why? Because there are so many atoms which are infusing their positions, so they will continuously change in position. So now firstly atom A is inducing dipole in atom B, and here now atom A is also induced with atom B also induced. Okay, this type of dispersion forces are always attractive and they are temporarily forces, that means they are not permanent. After some time the atoms will get their original positions as they are. Okay, here the interaction energy is directly proportional to 1 by r raised to 6. What is here r? R is the distance between the atoms. Okay, and this is a short range force, very important. And the third is their magnitude depends upon polarizability of the particle, very important concept. This can be asked in MCQs. Okay, so the next type of forces is dipole forces. So these are stronger than dispersion forces but weaker than ion-ion interactions. Why? Because partial charges are involved here, so very important, partial charges are involved. Next is these are also attractive forces. Okay, and this type of forces, they increases with decrease in distance and vice versa. That means this forces increases with decrease in distances, and with increase in distances this will decrease the forces. Okay, now for stationary polar molecules, the interaction energy, the energy which interact between the two atoms, two molecules, two substances, is known as interaction energy. So this energy for the stationary polar molecules, this is E directly proportional to 1 by r raised to 3. Okay, so this is interaction energy is inversely proportional to r cube, we can say. And for rotating type of molecules, for rotating type of polar molecules, interaction energy is directly proportional to r to the power 6. So it is inversely proportioning to r by 6 or directly proportioning to 1 by 6. Okay, so let's see the next. So next is dipole induced dipole forces. So they operate between polar molecules with permanent dipole. So we have previously seen that the dispersion forces are the temporary forces, but here the dipole induced dipole forces are the permanent dipole forces. Okay, they induce a permanent dipole, and lacking permanent dipole means they operate between such polar molecules in which one is having permanent dipole and the other which is lacking the permanent dipole. So they will interact and produce the type of forces known as dipole induced dipole forces. Okay, now they arises due to the above reason that I have already told. Next is here the interaction energy is inversely proportional to the 6th power of r, that is distance between atoms, and it depends upon dipole moment. Very important, it depends upon the dipole moment which is present in permanent dipole and polarizability. We have already seen the dispersion forces also depend upon polarizability. Here also in dipole induced dipole they are depending on the polarizability of electrically neutral molecules. Okay, because this doesn't include the charge, so they are electrically neutral molecules. Okay, polarizability here with respect to dipole induced dipole forces is directly proportional to the strength of attractive forces. Okay, because van der Waals forces are attractive and these are the type of forces, so they are always attractive only. Next and the fourth case, this is not just a case, this is a special case of dipole forces. So let's see the hydrogen bonding, H bonding. Okay, we will say it as H bonding. So this is a special case of dipole interactions, that is dipole interactions. These are found only in few molecules that are highly polar. Okay, or in between highly polar bonds, like we can say NH, that is nitrogen hydrogen bond, oxygen hydrogen bond, hydrogen fluorine bond. Okay, this doesn't exist in rest of the molecules, but sometimes in chlorine also this may show hydrogen bonding. Okay, next is here the energy of hydrogen bonding is between 10 to 100 kilojoules per mole. Okay, it is kilojoules, remember. Next is it determines the structure, very important, it determines the structure and properties of compounds. Okay, so we can say example which type of compounds, so like proteins, nucleic acids, biomolecules. Okay, next is the strength of hydrogen bonding, it determines on which factor, so it determines by Coulombic interactions. Okay, between lone pairs, very important, between lone pair electrons of electronegative atoms, molecules, and hydrogen atom of another molecule. That means between the lone pairs of one electronegative atom and the hydrogen atom of another molecule. Okay, so example of like the diagrammatic representation, how it is, so it is like this, HF, so one get a partial positive charge and the other get a partial negative charge. Like here hydrogen is less electronegative as compared to fluorine, and we know the fluorine is the most electronegative atom of the modern periodic table, the whole modern periodic table. Okay, and hydrogen is the having the least mass in the periodic table, and its molar mass also the least, having atomic number 1, having atomic number 9. Okay, first period and the second period. So these are the some terms that we will see in periodicity chapter, periodic table, so that is on latter part. Next topic that we are concerning is with thermal energy, because the intermolecular forces and the thermal energy, these two are only responsible for the three states of matter, that is gases, liquid and solid. For the solid we are not concerning now, because that we have to study a whole chapter based on that in the next classes, that is 12th. The first lesson is only the solid states of chemistry, part 1, so we will see that further on. So what is thermal energy? So let's see. Thermal energy, why they arises? So they arises due to motion of atoms of a body or its molecules. Very important. Due to their motion, the thermalness is there. The thermal energy arises. Directly proportional to temperature. Very important. It is directly proportional to temperature of a body, of a substance molecule. It is the measure of average kinetic energy of particle and responsible for the particle moment. Okay, and the last is its motion, the thermal motion is called as the thermal motion. Okay, the motion developed by thermal energy is which is directly proportional to temperature is called as thermal motion. Okay, and the third topic of today is now the comparison of intermolecular forces and thermal interactions. So let's see what is it. So first we are saying that the intermolecular forces, they keep the molecules together. Okay, their work is to keep the molecules together, and the thermal interactions, they keep the molecules apart, that is away from each other. Now see, for molecules to cling, that means to stick together, to come together, to make solids and liquids, their thermal energy should be low enough by reducing the temperature. Okay, that means if we want to cling, to stick two molecules together, we have to reduce their thermal energy. And how we can do that? By reducing the temperature. So simple. Okay, this seems to be simple, but between the atom at the molecular level, this is very hard enough. This is a quantum type of chemistry that we have to understand. So for examples, in between intermolecular forces which exist between two atoms, when it is more, when the intermolecular interactions are more, then the formation of gases is more harder than liquids or solids, or we can say that the formation of liquids is more easier than gases, and the formation of solids is the least easier or is the most easier than liquids. So this is the way. And when the thermal energy is more, then this type of formation occurs. That means the formation of gas is most easily preferable, okay, than that of liquids and solids. So this was all about today's first part, that is of states of matter. So I hope you get the review. So you can take a screenshot for them so that you can review this later when your exams are there, on the last times of exams, because this type of chart when you come through is very important. While reading whole lesson, you are not getting anything, because at the last of time of exams, many of the students, they get confused that how to read so much long chapters, how to go through that, the time is very less. So this type of notes helps you to get the whole complete interactions of the lessons. So let's take a screenshot for this. Okay, and for this also. Okay, so hope you understand my today's topic very well. So let's see you in the part 2. So stay tuned with me. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.